So now let's discuss another concept for chapter 33, which is called the total internal reflection. So under certain circumstances, all of the light can be reflected back from an interface even though the second material is transparent. So this is true for the rays number 3 and number 4. So this is number rays 3 and number 4. The reflected portions of rays 1 and 2 and 3 are omitted for clarity. Okay, so inano ni siya. So at the critical angle, the of incidence, okay, the angle of refraction theta b is equal to 90 degrees. And beyond that, any ray with theta a is greater than sine critical shows that the total or the phenomenon called total internal reflection. Okay. So in the picture here, so we can see that this ray here, which is greater than the sine critical, undergoes a total internal reflection. If the angle of incidence is larger than a critical angle, so like we have discussed, the ray cannot pass into the upper material. It is completely reflected at the boundary surface. So this situation occurs only when the 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 index of refraction here is greater than the index of refraction in the second material. Okay. So if this is your incident ray, if the index of refraction here is greater than the index of refraction B, then uh, this phenomenon will occur. So the the critical angle for the total internal reflection or the sine critical is equal to the index of refraction of the second material over the index of refraction of the first material. So this was derived from the law of refraction, where when the angle of the incidence is equal to sine of 90, which is equal to 1, then you will have this equation. That's the critical angle. So the application of this total internal reflection, so we can see this in what we call binoculars. So this binocular here use what we call the poroprism. So i- a combination of this poroprism actually being used to for binoculars. Okay. So if the angle of incident beam is oriented as shown, so what happens here is undergoes total internal reflection. Okay. The total internal reflection occurs at 45 degrees phases because for a glass to air interface, the critical angle is 41.1 degrees. So you can see here, if air is 1 and 1.52, so 0.69, this is 41 degrees, then total internal reflection per Poner prism. So usually if we do not use this, so you need to have a very large lens so that to to make your what we call this one light travels to that lens, you need to have a longer lens like this. Uh, Kinahanglan kag longer lens, usually like that. So manimahang lens ni siya. So naka-light dira. So you need to have larger. Okay. Larger D. Okay. However, but using this puro prism, that's why they use this. So you don't have to have a larger material like this. All you have to do is use the puro prism. So the the light travels like this. Okay, longer than usual. Okay, longer than this D here because it goes like this and like this and like that. Okay, so another application for this is what we call the fiber optic materials. So this is a colored X-ray image of a patient's abdomen shown in endoscope winding through a colon. Okay, so they're using here the concept of the total internal reflection. So when the beam of lights enter one end of the transparent rod, the light can be totally reflected internally if the index of refraction of the rod is greater than that of the surrounding material. So the light is trapped within the curved rod, provide that the curvature is not too great. So as long as you maintain the sign critical, which is the greater than the critical angle like this. So so fiber optic materials, a lot of applications. I want you to read our book for that. So not only uh, limited to this application, it has a lot of applications. Okay, so let's have a conceptual example. So a submarine periscope use a totally reflecting 45 to 4590 prisms with a total internal reflection on the sides adjacent to 45 degrees angle. Explain why this periscope no longer work if the springs leak and the bottom prism is covered with water. So for example, so what's inside here previously is just air that's inside. However, when we have a water, so push inside, so water is being filled with water. So what's inside is instead of N air, we come N water. And so N air. So to find the critical sign of sine theta critical, this is the ratio of Na. So this is the ratio of Nb over Na. Okay, so since this is no longer an air, uh, what is the angle of refraction of water? So maybe we're gonna use the yellow light, which is 1.33. So we have a glass. Okay, so maybe let's get the angle of refraction of the glass. So 1.33 and 1.52. So 1.33 for the water and 1.32. Okay. 52, I mean. So what is the new critical angle? So the maybe we're gonna uh, critical, this is equal to the sine inverse of the ratio 1.33 over 1.52. So this is equal to 61 degrees. 61 point 61 degrees. So the critical angle now is 61. So 45 degrees is less than the critical angle. So what happened is that there will be no, since the 45 angle of incidence for the total reflecting prism is smaller than the 61 degrees critical angle, so the total internal reflection does not occur at the glass water interface. Most of the light is transmitted into the water and a very little is reflected back to the prism. Okay, so some additional example for the total internal reflection. So we have a flat piece of glass covers the top of a vertical cylinder that is completely filled with water. Okay, let's draw that one. So a flat piece of glass covers the top. Okay, we have a vertical cylinder. Okay, it is filled with what? So this is the glass. Okay. So let's assume that this one is the completely filled with, okay, water. Okay. If the ray of light traveling in the glass is incident on the interface, so let's draw a ray of light. Okay, this the ray of light, and gonna draw a normal. Okay, if the ray of light traveling in the glass is incident in the interface with the water at an angle of theta A 36.2. Okay, let's have this as theta A is equal to 36.2 degrees. So the refracted ray into the water makes an angle of 49.8 degrees. So supposedly it's gonna go back here, but it's being refracted at an angle of 49. So so if this is 36, so greater, okay, like this. So maybe I'm gonna use this like that. So this is the um, theta B is equal to 49.8 degrees, okay, with the normal to the interface. So what is the smallest value of the incident angle theta A for which none of the ray refracts into the water? So what is uh, the the what is the smallest value of the incident angle theta A for which none of the rays refract on into the water? Okay, so let's find first the what is the n of B? Okay, what is so we have here the n of A, which is equal to, since this is water, we're gonna use 1.333. So maybe we're gonna use that. So depende sa given. It depends on the given of your instructor. So you're gonna use this. Okay. Uh, and to find this, you're gonna do the law of what we call this one, the law of refraction. So we have NA. So this is actually the NA. Okay. And this is actually the NB. Okay. Because it comes, the our light comes from here. Okay. So NA. So specifically, so if you have a glass like this, it has a length that like this, and this is the cylinder. Okay, so if you have a rays of light here, the ray of light like that, and this is the angle of incident. So what happens here? Uh, this is the thickness. Okay, so as it goes to the water, okay, so it's actually being uh, ref this is 39 being refracted like this. Okay, so that's what happens. Okay, so to find the the NA, so this is equal to sine of theta A. This is equal to NB sine of theta B. Okay, let's sine of theta A here over sine of theta A. Okay, so NA here for the glass, or N glass is equal to 1.333. So this is given sine of 49.8 degrees over sine of 36.2 degrees. So what is now the so 1.33 times sine of 49.8 over sine of 36.2. So this is equal to 1.72. That is the let's 72 or 724. Okay, let's just add another significant figure. So, but our final answer here is 1.72. So what is the smallest value of the incident, which none of the ray refracts into the water? So let's use the formula that the the sine of theta critical is equal to the n. So the second material, so it is NB over NA. Okay. So the theta, the critical angle here, is equal to the inverse arc sine of 1.333 over 1.724. Okay. So we have angle of 50.6 degrees. So that is the critical angle. Okay. So it means that for theta, which is for the theta A, which is less than or which is greater than 50.6 degrees at the glass boundary, so no light is refracted into the water. So that's the answer for this exercises. So I will leave this one to you as your exercise. So now let's discuss the dispersion, the section 33.4. Okay. The speed of light in the vacuum is the same for all the wavelengths, but the speed in a material substance is different for different wavelengths. So this is, for example, here, all of this light is traveling. So we have here the white is the combination of all the lights in the visible spectrum, like this one, the violet, the red, the yellow, or the Roy G. Biv. The color you can see here in the rainbow. So in the vacuum, they're traveling at speed of c, which is 8.0 times 10 to the 3 meters per second. Okay. However, when this light travels to a material, okay, so they now have different wavelengths, different speed. So V red, uh, uh, V violet, okay, is not equal to, so they have speed, so they have different wavelengths. They have different wavelengths of violet, wavelengths of the red, and they have the different index of refraction of the red, because the index of refraction is just equal to the wavelength in the speed of light. like this over this one. This is n of red, and speed of the wavelength sa vacuum or sa from the vacuum or sa air. So what happens is that there's as the as the white light is the combination of all the visible light. As they go to the materials, we call that one as the prism. So this dispersion happens. The light is being dispersed. Okay. So the band of dispersed color is called the spectrum. We call this one as the spectrum. So because the ordinary white light is the superposition of waves with all the visible wavelengths. So the speed of light in the vacuum is the same for all wavelengths, but the speed in the material sum is different for different wavelengths. So the dependence of the wave speed and index of refraction on the wavelength is called the dispersion. Okay. So in most materials, the value of n decreases with increasing wavelength and decreasing frequency. So let's look at the just look at the for example the wavelength. Okay. So the index of refraction. So for the red light, this is the red light. Uh, uh, its wavelength is equal to 700 nanometer. Okay. So if it passes for the silicate glass, it so the it passes to the silicate glass, so it has an index of refraction, uh, index of refraction of the silicate glass for the red light has to be somewhat 1 point something, 6 something. But for the another material, so the n will be changed. And for the blue light, okay, for this, if the blue light pass to the silicate plane, so the index of refraction will become higher compared to the red light. So what happens is that there is a dependence of the wave speed and the index of refraction to the wavelength. So that's why dispersion. This this is called dispersion. So there's a dispersion of colors. This you can see a spectrum of colors here. Okay. So we call this one phenomena as dispersion. Okay. S- okay. So let me animation. Uh, okay. So let's try to answer this. So to understand the phenomena of dispersion. So this is 33.24. 33.24. So, so the index of refraction for a violet light is 40 nanometer and red light is 400 nanometer, 700 nanometer in diamond. And okay, so the index of refraction of the violet light in a diamond are uh, 246 and 241 respectively. So the wavelength of the violet light is 400 nanometer and for the red light is 700 nanometer. Okay. A ray of light traveling through air strikes the diamond surface. So let's assume that okay, so for example, this is the surface of the diamond. Okay. Okay. To the normal. Okay, let's draw incident light. So let's draw first the violet. Okay, so this is the violet light. Okay. Since it in a vacuum they are white. Hmm. So let's just assume this is white. So let's just use this. Okay. So this is the combination of, so assume that this is a white light like this. Okay. So it composed of, so red light and a violet light, and which is this violet light is 400 nanometer, and this is equal to 700 nanometer. However, when they pass the material, what happens? Okay. So if this is the normal, okay, kung kani ang normal na to, so the angle of incidence for both of them, theta A is 53.5 degrees. But when these two struck the surface, so what happens is that there's actually a dispersion happening. So they will separate. Okay. Okay. So this is now the red and refraction, like that. Okay. So calculate the angular separation between the two colors. Okay. So maybe let's exaggerate a little bit. Exaggerate na to. So atong ikuan mas like this, na ang, so let's calculate this one, theta, which is equal to, uh, so theta is equal to, uh, the, sorry, this is equal to the change of theta equal to the theta red minus the theta violet. Okay. So let's solve first. Okay, solution. So let's for the red first. Okay, for the red. Okay. To get this theta red, okay, theta red, okay, use the law of refraction. So n of r, so Na here is air, okay, sine of 53.5 degrees is equal to, so for the red is 2.41, 41 sine of theta red. Okay. So theta red, okay, is equal to the inverse, okay, -1, okay, of the ratio of N air over 2.41 sine of 30 53.5 degrees. So if you wonder what happened, how did I get that? So you just divide this by 2.41, 2.41. So it will become that the sine of theta red is equal to N air 2.41 sine of 53.5 degrees. Okay. So this one is that, and this one is that. So to get the angle, you use the the arc sine. Okay. So sine of this function here. So this is just equal to 1. Okay. So sine air is equal to the sine -1. So this is equal to 1.0 over 2.41 sine of 53.5 degrees. Okay. Sine 53.5. So we have here 19.5 degrees. Okay. So similarly for the for the violet, okay. So theta violet, this equal to the inverse tangent and inverse sine inverse or arc sine. We're gonna use the 2.46 the sine of 53.5 degrees. So we have here 19.07 okay degrees. So the 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 separation between the two colors or this one, the theta, this theta is just equal to 19.5 degrees minus 19.07 degrees. So this is equal to 0.43 degrees. So there is what we call the angular separation between the two colors. Okay, so that's the concept of dispersion. So here, uh, take note, different wavelengths, different index of refraction when they go to the same material. That the same material. So let me check again if our answer is correct. 0.43. Okay. 19.5, 19.07. Okay. So in your book, yeah, it uses actually four significant figures. So 19.48 like that. But I guess this answer is uh, uh with three significant figures. Okay, this answer is okay. So the reason why you see rainbows, it's because of the concept of ref uh light being refracted, light being total internal reflection and dispersion. Okay. So here, if the white light strikes the droplets, the drop rays or the raindrop, this angle here is being uh, it's being refracted and uh, it's also being total internal reflection and being refracted again. So it undergoes two refraction, one total internal reflection. So this pattern here that's what creates a rainbow. So with the additional concept of dispersion, like what we have discussed here, that there is the angular separation of deflection. Okay, between these colors here. Okay, so for example, we have here the violet light and the red light. So they have what we call the angle. We have the separation. Okay, so that's the reason why we see a pattern like this, the Roy G. V pattern. So because this is phenomena is called dispersion. So they are being dispersed at different angles. So if you're the observer, you can see the this you can see rainbow because the the white light is being dispersed when they went inside the droplets. Okay, and they undergo refraction, total internal reflection and refraction, and being dispersed. So the rainbow phenomena can be explained by the law of reflection, law of refraction, the law of total internal reflection, and the dispersion. So most of the some of the time you can see a secondary rainbow. For the secondary rainbow, so this is actually the pattern for the secondary rainbow. The same also the dispersion concept that we have discussed here in this section.